Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our GiSTEMChats virtual chat 21.4. What about manufacturing? First of all, hello, I'm Latoya Mayfield. I'm the president of GiSTEM. I just want to go back and let you know a little bit about GiSTEM if this is your first time attending one of our GiSTEMchats. GiSTEM is a nonprofit that is an advocate for girls' interests in the academic disciplines that can be challenging due to the lack of resources in public school systems. We share the fundamental skills needed for girls to be prepared and successful in STEM. Our mission is to influence and inspire girls to thrive in academic disciplines and careers in which the gender gap persists to impact their minds, their future, and of course, our STEM community. Our vision is to instill confidence, determination, critical thinking, and teamwork while molding the minds of the girls at the most vulnerable age for learning. This will give them the needed advantages, resources to direct them to the most effective path towards success in STEM. So I'm excited having you guys join us today. We have a special treat for you today. We have a wonderful person that will be joining us today, and that is Rikki Singletary. I'm so excited to have her today, guys. She is the plant manager, the quality plant manager at Eaton, and we are excited to have her. First, I'm going to just read a little bit about Rikki, and then we can go ahead and get started in our chat. So her bio reads, it was clear to Rikki parents early on from her toy choices and her inquisitive and sponge-like mind, she was destined to be an engineer. With a bright future, she progressed through grade school, longed for opportunities to challenge herself outside the boundaries of comfort, because then and only then will true learning take place. Prior to completing high school, she had the opportunity to participate in 2 research-intensive bridge programs at North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University. One was the Center for Power, Electronics, and Systems, and the other is Para Research Program, sponsored by the Army Research Lab. These research experiences, coupled with the fact that several generations prior had attended the university, in North Carolina A&T was likely her choice for undergraduate degree because it was home. Rikki graduated from North Carolina A&T with a degree in industrial and systems engineering in 2007. She joined the workforce shortly after in an engineering rotational program with now Altria Client Services. She went on to obtain 2 additional advanced degrees, an MBA, and a master's in quality management. Today, after 15 years in quality, she serves as the plant quality manager in Sumter, South Carolina, where she manages a team of 55 salary and non-salary workers in support of executing the plant's quality improvement strategy. She contributes her success to 1, her family, especially her mother, 2, leading by example, and 3, always remaining humble and ready to learn. So guys, I would love to introduce you to Rikki Singletary. Thank you, Rikki, for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. We are so excited to have you today. Before we even get into our questions, I'm gonna let everyone know a little bit about our GiSTEMchats if this is their first time joining us. GiSTEMchats is our 30 to 60-minute segment throughout the year where professionals share their STEM journey, including their career, roles, their aspirations, success, and challenges faced in their career path. GiSTEM recognizes that early exposure to STEM careers is crucial for fast-tracking success. Also, seeing people with similar attributes, whether it's race, ethnicity, gender, or just your community, plays a huge role in developing the confidence to pursue STEM careers. Exposure, we want to expose middle school and high school kids to professionals in STEM careers because we understand that representation, it matters. And we know that it is not only capability, but having the knowledge of the most effective path and support in STEM. So this platform exposes people to the professional's journey and how STEM plays a role in careers. That is what GiSTEMchat's about. And in honor of October 1st being Manufacturing Day, this is why we're having this segment today called What About Manufacturing? So Rikki, I know we kind of went over it already, but where do you currently work and what is your role?
I currently work with Eaton Corporation in Sumter, South Carolina, and I am the plant quality manager.
Awesome, awesome. So how long have you been with this organization and has your role evolved over time, or have you been pursuing this same role the entire time?
I have been with Eaton almost 9 years. So March
Nice.
of 2022 will be my 9 years with the company. And I would say the role has evolved. So when I first joined the organization, I came in with our lighting business, if you will. And I
Okay,
came in as like a senior quality engineer. And then so I quickly grew to quality manager. I've also served as like a customer quality leader. And
nice.
then today, of course, I'm a plant quality manager as well. So I've always been in quality, but I've kind of taken different facets of the quality journey, if you will.
Nice, nice. Well, just a quick or a brief overview, like what is quality? When you're saying that you work in the quality department or you are a quality plant manager or been in quality the entire time at Eden, what does being in the actual quality space consist of?
So think about it like just as things that you may buy, right? So I know you're like drinking some coffee, right? So you made a choice to select whatever that coffee brand is,
Mhm.
right? Based on whatever the criteria you have set, right? So our customers do the same thing.
Okay.
And so they set expectations in terms of how they want their product to look, how they want it to perform. So in the quality department, we make sure we meet or exceed those expectations. And so we do that by having a control method, if you will. So as we're
Okay.
manufacturing things, making sure that we're kind of building quality into our process. And then we have another piece that's like more of a system piece. That's like a quality assurance aspect where we build a process and build the different systems to make that quality consistent and repeatable, if you will.
Okay, nice. So what has been like your path in leading you into this type of role?
So I have to be honest, when I was a freshman in college and I was sitting in my quality assurance class, I was like, there's no chance I'm going to ever do this in life because it was so boring. But I think quality kind of just found me. So I found
Okay.
myself working with Toyota as a co-op. I
Okay.
did 2 stints with Toyota in Georgetown, Kentucky. And for those that know Toyota, they hold quality in high regard. And so working in, I think that level of what I would call like world-class quality manufacturing is really what kind of sparked a little bit of interest in me to move into the field. And so like I said, initially, no interest at all. And then being able to kind of see how important it was, being able to see the impact that you were making. So you're able to see the product, you're able to touch the product firsthand and see how you're contributing to someone like the customer satisfaction, which is a pretty
Right.
big deal, right?
Mhm.
That's really what kind of drove my desire, if you will, to kind of grow in the field.
Okay, so with your background being in industrial and systems engineering, is that like the specific role that or the specific path you have to go to get into this type of quality space, or is that just the route that you chose, or are there different routes of getting there?
So absolutely different routes. That's just a route that I chose. So I
Okay.
was drawn to industrial engineering because it's a variety. So you get a good taste of the different engineering fields. So we do classes in electrical, mechanical, you name it, right? And so that in itself kind of was why I took that path. But I have mechanical engineering engineers working for me today in quality. So I think really the engineering, the science foundation is really what makes you be successful.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of problem solving. So being able to kind of grasp those tools and be able to apply them to whatever problem we're facing is really what makes you successful in the role.
Nice, nice. So can you give us an example of a challenge that you had to overcome in manufacturing as a quality plant manager, or just anything in challenges in your path? Either or is really, really helpful for us.
So I'll say from a product perspective, right? So whenever you're dealing with people in
Mhm.
manufacturing, you're really kind of challenging your system because people are going to interpret requirements in different ways. So
Right.
even though you may feel like you've given someone enough information to be able to do something the same thing every single time, they're still going to find a way unless you kind of poke or error proof the system. So
Yeah.
most of the challenges that I face is really in where we may have done something that the customer wasn't expecting, and we have to go back and kind of assess and develop a corrective action, if you will. And so really, the biggest challenge is really looking at that process, taking the people out of it, looking at the process and kind of dissecting and saying, okay, what can we do differently in our process so that our people don't make that mistake? And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges. And then aside from that, from a manager perspective, one of the biggest things that's really challenged my leadership style has been the pandemic, right? So it's really forced me to think differently about how I'm staffing my organization, how we're doing our cross training. Certainly being able to kind of deal with the different day-to-day things that the pandemic has presented for us, and that we continue to work through even today. I would say that's another big challenge that on the managerial side that I've had to work through over the last year or so.
Nice. But it sounds like you're overcoming and you're making your way through these different challenges with, no problem. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So another question. So does your company have compliance regulations that they have to follow or meet working in manufacturing?
Absolutely. So from a quality system, so we have our quality management system, again, that sets the framework for everything that we're doing to ensure that our products are safe and meeting customer requirements. So our quality system is ISO 9001 certified. So that stands for the International Standards Organization. And so pretty much what that means is that we have a set of criteria that we have to make sure that we comply with. And then Eaton also has something called Eaton's Business System, and they set forth another level of criteria, typically above and beyond what our ISO would require of us. And that just, again, helps us be world-class and continue to strive for excellence, right? And continuous improvement in our systems.
Absolutely. So if you can you describe what your manufacturing plant environment is like? Not in detail, of course, but is there anything that you can explain of what your environment is like?
Sure. So if you can kind of envision, so our plant is pretty large. I think it's like 250-ish thousand square feet. And we do have another facility that we support as well. So we have really three main value streams, right? So that's basically three areas that's producing a product. And so we have like a fabrication and a paint area. So if you can just picture like sheet metal, we bring it in as raw steel. We punch it into, add holes to it basically. And then you bend it into whatever shape it needs to go into. And then we put some powder coat paint on it. And so we paint it nice, pretty silver. That's the only color you get. And so that's one operation. And then the other one is like an assembly line. So think of just stations in a line. And you start at the beginning of a line, and by the time the line is finished, you have a panel board. So very similar to like a circuit breaker that you might see in your house. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then our biggest area would be our switch gear, which is kind of like a really big circuit breaker, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain it. But nonetheless, those are very big, a lot more intricate. And so those lines it's not necessarily an assembly line, but the product kind of stays and the people kind of come to the product, if you will, because of the size. But those are our three value streams. So our plant produces fabricated parts, we do panel boards, and we do switch gear.
Nice. That's very insightful, especially for people that I know. For me, back when I was in college, I also had the quality assurance class, and I was like,
yep, you know what I'm talking about.
This couldn't be me, even though, the documents from the documentation standpoint as well, to submitting documentation, and then all of the CAPA and, corrective actions that you would need to do. I was like, yeah, this is not me. And somehow I can agree that also found me. I definitely can agree with that. And I honestly can say that even when I was in school, I didn't really concentrate too much, I think, on the quality assurance and how, important that is, once you start looking for jobs, right? And looking at different careers and just like that path in general, because I think I X'd it out of my head initially anyway. And then, when I got to when I was working for a company, I ended up going into the quality assurance department and helping out in quality assurance and actually doing a lot of DHR, device history records, for that company. And I'm like, FDA, what? All of these different things. I was not thinking about going into this type of compliance thing. It just kind of found me. So I can definitely agree to how it can find you.
Yeah, it does.
I want to know if many people are like us. Do they actually go into this field, or is everybody just, kind of, they find us somehow and trap us?
Yeah, I always say it takes a special person to work in quality. So, because you're dealing with literally problems.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. I totally agree. But for right now, we're going to actually just take a quick little commercial break. Da-da-da. All right, everyone. So we're going to first let you know about our GSTEM week. So we've done our first GSTEM week. GSTEM week 2021 happened in July. When I say it was phenomenal, it was phenomenal. We had women from all types of different fields of STEM, from science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, give their expertise and teach their expertise to girls in our program. When I say it was great and phenomenal, it was great and phenomenal. So we're going to do this again, okay? Next year, GSTEM Week 2022 will happen July 11th through July 15th. That will be the week for it. And then we will have our presentation day where our girls will actually present to the sponsors of the event, to their speakers, to their parents, and the judges on July 16th. Please, if you have a sister, a daughter, a granddaughter, a cousin that is in middle school to high school, tell them to apply. The application is now open on our website. You can go to www.gstemchinc.org and apply. We're accepting 16 girls into the program this year. When I say it's going to be a STEM intensive program, it's a STEM intensive program. And so we are excited to have anyone that has an interest. You don't have to be, I have the most knowledge about STEM. If you have an interest, please apply. We are open to everyone applying. We're excited. All you have to have is an interest and you can be accepted into the program. So that is our commercial break from today, or before today. Dun, dun, dun. And we will go back to our regular scheduled program. So, Rikki, we have more questions for you. So, at GSTEM, our mantra is to instill confidence, influence critical thinking, and inspire the next generation of women in STEM. So, by doing this, our goal is to increase the diversity of girls in the future of STEM and other professional careers where technical skills can be applied. So why do you believe it's important for girls to be at the table and take on roles in manufacturing?
I think that's a great question. So I'll tell you. So I think that one of the things you mentioned was like the critical thinking piece, right? And there's something about how girls, how women, how we process things totally different than our male counterparts. And so when I say, like, I think my quote was around, women is what's missing in manufacturing. When I talk about a lot of the problems that we have to address each and every day, just the whole like sequential logical thought that women bring to problems is totally different than how a man processes it. And so I think that's what's missing from manufacturing. When we talk about taking us to world-class manufacturing, talking about that creative spirit and, not even being afraid to try different things, like, or even to try something and fail fast, recover, and keep going. I think that is just really what speaks to what girls and what women can add to the manufacturing environment.
I love that. I really do love that. So what is your advice for young girls that are interested in pursuing technical roles? What advice would you give them?
I would say, do not be afraid of mathematics. I think that I have heard people say time and time again, oh, I can't do that because it's too much math. Like, that's okay. Like, math is okay, right? And that's one thing that doesn't change. Right. Numbers will be the same. And I say that it's really important because even though, a lot of the technical fields, right, there's a lot of math coursework, but it's okay if you can get through it. That foundation is really what sets you apart. It really makes you more dynamic. It really makes it a lot easier for you to be able to problem solve, to be able to think fast, make decisions on your feet, to think globally. All those things are very, very important. And so to me, that foundation starts with the basics, right? And mathematics is a part of the basics. So don't be afraid of it. Just hit it head on, take the bull by the horns, and just knock it out. It's really not that bad. It seems like a lot when you're going through it, but it's not that bad.
So what I hear is embrace mathematics, everyone. She's saying you must embrace mathematics. And so
You should.
even for me, I'm
Yes.
like, some days it's like, yes, math. And then some days it's like, Lord, it's math, you know?
Yep.
So
Just
I
get through
totally
it.
agree.
Just get through it.
Just
It's
get through
important.
it.
Just get through it.
Just get through it. So another question is, outside of your profession, what do you like to do? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have another business that you have? What do you like to do outside of being a plant quality manager?
Well, being a plant quality manager takes a lot of time. I'm going to be honest, but I do make time for myself. So it's very important that you kind of keep that balance, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to get consumed too much in what you're doing. So, I'm actually working on pursuing my PhD. So I'm working on getting
Nice.
a PhD in psychology. So definitely something that
Awesome.
I wanted to. I'm a big believer in lifelong learning. So I feel like I will always be in somebody's school. But anyway, so I'm working
Awesome.
on that. I'm working on that. And then I'm also working on a book. So I've learned a lot about
Awesome.
managing people, and how people want to be managed. And even sometimes you have to manage your manager. And so I'm working on kind of getting those thoughts all together. And
Wow.
hopefully a book that will be published next year. We'll see how that goes. Um, and then from a business standpoint, my husband and I are always looking into different business adventures. So whether it's like real estate or travel, whatever it is, we're always getting into something. So it's just kind of whatever we're into for that particular day.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is so awesome. And I cannot wait until your book comes out because I'm going to be the first one to order it. So keep me
I appreciate
posted
it.
because
I
I cannot
will.
wait. That sounds
I
so
will.
awesome and amazing. So
Thank you.
we also know that at GSTEM, we believe that networking is important. Now I can admit that when I was going through college that I failed to make those connections that was really necessary for careers later on down the line. Why do you believe that networking is important?
So I'm always telling people that you want someone to be able to kind of represent you when you can't represent yourself. And so your network does just that. So whether
Absolutely.
it's professors, whether it's family, friends, whether it's like you said from an internship connections, whatever it may be, colleagues, you just never know when people are talking. Hey, I might need someone to help me with X. Hey, I know
Absolutely.
Rikki. She can do that. She did this for me. So again, when you're not able to represent yourself, you want your network working for you.
I love
And so
that.
I think that's a very powerful tool, that everyone should leverage.
I love that. I love that. So how has networking helped you in your successful journey?
Well, a lot of my moves, believe it or not, have not been triggered by myself. So my initial plant that I was with, when I first started with Eaton, was in Americus, Georgia. So shout out to the team in Americus. If you guys don't know where that is, it's a small little place south of Atlanta, but they've got some great food in Americus. So if you ever make your way down there, go there. Um, but I started out down there and I was not looking to make any kind of moves. I was getting settled. I had just gotten married. And the network reached out and said, hey, would you want to take a role in Denver, Colorado? And so newlyweds, my husband and I thought about it and we said, why not? Let's take on the challenge. And so again, it wasn't a job I was necessarily looking for, but they felt like I had the skill set to help support that organization at the time. And so we picked up and moved. So that's just an example of
Nice.
how your network can work for you.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. So what are some pointers can give to our viewers about how to network? What do you think? Or what are some things that you believe helped you with networking or being able to be successful with networking?
So definitely, I leveraged when I was in college anyway, lots of internships, lots of co-ops. And I think I developed a lot of good relationships, during those experiences. And I've continued to try to
Absolutely.
stay in contact with those individuals, whether it's, just a text message every now and then, contacting them on LinkedIn, Facebook. There's so many ways we can stay in contact with each other now.
Absolutely.
So I definitely think that's a valuable, thing as well, and even doing things like this, right? Reaching out, participating in these webinars, these lives, kind of getting your name out there, kind of
Absolutely.
stepping out on faith in some cases, right? And introducing yourself or asking questions, just kind of standing out from the crowd is, I think, the biggest things, that I could offer, for those that are looking to
Standing
build
out
a
from the
network.
crowd. Standing out from the crowd. That's absolutely important, and that is definitely correct. So question, does your company have any like internships that they offer to people in college, people in high school? Do they have any opportunities for volunteering or anything? Would you like to share with us any of those type of things that your company may have?
Absolutely. So I know that we are heavy in our recruiting season. Actually, I'll be participating in some interviews tomorrow.
Nice.
So our recruiting teams are out and at the campuses over the right now, actually. So certainly everything that's available, there's at eatonjobs.com. I think at any given time, there's like thousands of jobs out there.
Nice.
So we have a pretty robust internship and co-op program, as well as we offer several rotational type programs that allow for our entry level team members, whether it's in HR, whether it's in engineering, it can be some of our technical service team, it can
Nice.
be market, whatever. They have all those available for those that are just graduating from school to come in and kind of get to see the business and the different aspects of the business as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So everyone, thank you for joining us. Rikki, thank you so much for just sharing your journey, sharing your background with us. We really appreciate it. You have definitely helped us be more insightful about manufacturing in general. You have definitely prepped us for a manufacturing day that's coming up on October 1st. And we thank you just for spending the time with us and just making room for us today, because you didn't have to be here. And so we're so grateful that you accepted this and was able to speak to everyone today. And just in closing, everyone, we appreciate you being on our live today, just taking the time to just listen to Rikki's experience and her journey with us. And I also want to let you know, if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn. You're already on Facebook, Twitter, at GSTEM Inc. On all of those different platforms. And also, if you can meet us at GiSTEMChats next month, we have a special treat. Virtual Chat 21.5 is going to be skaters in STEM. So a lot of our board members actually are roller skaters. And since October is roller skating month, we want to have a skater that's in STEM that's going to be with us. And so we're excited to hear how just that hobby is helping them in their STEM journey, and just a different site on STEM. So please be there. It's October 19th. We can't wait to have you. And again, Rikki, thank you so much for being here today. Again, we are so grateful. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next month for Skaters in STEM. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.